Yes, same as we was last week. Charlie, it probably comes a little bit early for. Charlie will be available next week. She's in full training all next week. She's been in some of the training this week, so she's close. Ella Morris has been in parts of training, so she's getting closer. But apart from that, Micah comes back in after being ineligible for the game. And yet Drew still has a suspension. So apart from that, we're as we were.
Martin, how would you reflect on Sunday's game against Chelsea? Because, of course, as we spoke after the game, there were a lot of positives in that first half. What's been your message to the players this week?
Yeah, a lot of that, because when you're so fixated, Chris, and you're internal, you don't always see maybe the positive aspects of the game, and because you're so configured on winning and getting a result. And when I've spoke to a lot of the staff around me and people away from here, whose opinion I value. They've said about the performance in the first half, and when I look back at it 2 or 3 times, first half I thought we created a lot of chances and they need to go. So we'll be proud of that part of the performance. The ruthless edge needs to be there. But then second half we had moments a game. We had Tinker's chance, Olivia's chance, and they had a few moments themselves when we opened up and tried to go and push the game. But I thought overall, there was positives to take from it. Do we want to be better? Yes. I'm happy with losing the game? No. But I think we've definitely took bigger steps, and we've definitely performed well in that first part of the game, but we want to do that for 90 minutes.
I noticed as well that the Spurs men's player, Matisse Tell, was at the game. How important is it that the men's team support the women's team as well?
Yeah, important, and you want to make sure there's a collaboration and continuity with us supporting them supporting us, and it has to fit in schedule for every player and to make sure that they can do that. But it's wonderful that he was there supporting the team and shows the value and the interest in women's football now. And I think if that happens more often, it definitely will happen more often. We're very thankful for anyone at the club, if it's players or staff, that come to watch.
Of course, on Sunday it's Aston Villa away at Villa Park, the iconic stadium. What will you make of them this season? What are you expecting? Because, of course, they've lost their last 4 in all competitions.
Yeah, I think we played them in the Subway Cup. We played them in the league already, and they've been 2 really close encounters. And we know it's going to be a difficult game when a team comes off the back of defeat, as we've seen with Chelsea. There's going to be a response, and they haven't performed badly in those games, if I'm honest, because they've been really tight. And we know games in this league are tight now. They've just come up short against Everton. They were in a really tight game until right at the end with Liverpool. So we know it's going to be a difficult game. They have really strong players. They've got really good goal-scoring threats in that attacking third, and very good on the break. And they're very resilient when they defend. And we're going to have to be diligent enough to break them down, but we're going to have to be even smarter to make sure that we stop them at the other end.
Evelina Summerlin has just signed a brand new contract at Tottenham. How pleased are you for her, and what does she offer you? Because, of course, she's just recently played her 100th game in a Spurs shirt. Yeah,
important. She's key in our build-up and how we play with the ball. She's very influential off the ball in terms of being combative when she's up close in those 1v1 duels. And the beauty for Ev is there's still a lot of work we feel she can grow within. She can still be better as a player, and that's probably the beauty of football. When you have such a player that can still be better, it's only going to benefit us for the success moving forward. And to make 100 appearances is very, very impressive, because it shows how important she's been to this team and to this club for a long period. And she'll continue to play a huge part here now moving forward.
Lastly, Martin, can I just get your reaction on Thomas Frank leaving the football club this week? I know you had a good working relationship with him.
Yeah, sad, because you never want to see anyone, a colleague, lose their job. Thomas is a top coach and is an extraordinary person, and someone I admire and have huge respect for, and someone I look up to for the way he does his work. And disappointed for him, but we're in a football business and those decisions have to be made. And I wish him all the best, and I'll keep in contact with him.
Best of luck. Thank you, Martin.
Cheers, Chris. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Helen?
Good morning, Martin. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad at all. So, Aston Villa are a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team. They are either brilliant or they just get knocked away. It also feels to me like they're missing Rachel Daly very badly, because I think their bad run sort of coincides with her being out. I've no idea whether she's back or not, but how do you know how to play Villa when they can be really good or just like not?
Yeah, it's more of an unpredictability, as you said, Helen. I think I said then to Chris, the performances haven't been really bad. The results in terms of haven't gone their way, but yeah, if you're talking about players like Rachel Daly and other players that they're missing at this moment in time, Rachel Daly will be a huge influence on any team. Her leadership and the way she performs at a high level, she's got vast experience and she knows how to operate on that pitch correctly, and she lifts any team if you were to put her within that. So she's obviously a huge loss to them, but they have wonderful players still in there. Some young talented players, but some very vast experienced ones nationally, and when you're playing against them, you just have to take them for what you see in terms of within the games and their strengths and what they can apply, and we'll prepare for the best Aston Villa that there is, and make sure that we come up with a plan that can get us a result.
And you were talking to Chris then about, especially the first half against Chelsea, what are the things that you think you can take out of that? And also you've got obviously Michael back as well, that you can take into the Villa game.
Yeah, the braveness to play and the composure we had even when we were under high pressure. The variance in our game to play in front of them and play beyond them. I thought we were very good in terms of when we got between the lines and we broke past their midfield line. I think we got into some really dangerous situations. But it's more the courage and bravery to play our way, Helen. And if you want your team, whether you win or you don't, you want to see a very clear identity that represents this club, and we'll lose our way if we're going to do it. But I thought we were very brave and courageous with our play, and I think that off the ball we were diligent of when we engaged and when we didn't. And Chelsea will naturally create chances, but from that first half, I thought we had big moments up to their first goal. After that, we still had moments again. And you need them to go, but we can look at that from real positive impact of where we was maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago to where we are now 6 months down the line. And then also from, if you're looking 12 months back where we was, we've took big steps, and this year's about consolidating and really putting in place clear foundations that we can build a successful team from. And I think the players have really built on those performances in those big games, where they go in confident, they don't go in with fear, and we just need to find ways to really get over the line in one of those games.
And last one from me is, I just wonder for you in terms of satisfaction in your job, when you come up against someone like Natalia Arroyo, who's got a very distinctive way of coaching, and she's got quite a big sort of football brain, I think. Is there a satisfaction in trying to work out how you can unpick her side?
Yeah, and I think that's for all of us, Alan. It's a really good question. Tactically, you always want to get one up on your opponents, and you want to always try and be one step ahead, or you want a solution for every problem they pose you. And we know that tactically they can evolve within that structure. It goes in out of two systems, and they're very versatile and fluid within that midfield to front line. And we've got to be aware that we can adapt in the game and we can make good decisions in the moment. But they've also got to think about us at the same time. We need to give them problems the way they think about us and our players. And if we make them think about us more than they're thinking about themselves, then we give ourselves a really good foothold in the game.
You've also got to neutralise Kirsty Hansen, of course.
Yeah, and a really key player and a really good player in Kirsty, and someone I've worked with before at Manchester United. So knowing her as an individual, and am I surprised that she's scoring goals? No, because she's a good player. Am I surprised she's in good form? No, because she works extremely hard. And we see now when we played them in the game at home here, when she gets behind us and she finishes. I know what Kirsty is as a player and what she can bring, and if we allow her the time and space that she wants and she needs, then she'll cause a whole lot of problems. But if we nullify that threat, I believe we can take away a lot of their attacking threats.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. Good luck at the weekend.
Cheers, Helen. Thank you.
Thanks, Helen. Dan Pentland.
Martin, hope you're well. Just want to go back to the previous two games against Villa, because I think you've had 30 shots on goal, only 6 on target, you've scored 2 goals. So this weekend, is it about kind of persisting and being better with the way that you attack against Aston Villa, or is it about tweaking it a little bit and doing something a little bit different?
More the chances of creating. I think if you're not creating the chances, Dan, you're not in the right positions, then I'd be concerned. More than it's just a little bit of composure and a little bit of confidence in front of the goal to be more patient and be more calm, and actually with the finishing, not getting erratic with it. And once one of them go in, I think you have it in games. You look at Liverpool the other day against Aston Villa, they hadn't scored many goals, and then they've had four shots on target and scored the 4, and they maybe had more within the game also, but most of their big chances come from, and they've put 4 in past them. And I think at some point, we'll get to a point where everything we hit on target will go in, and it's more just a composure and a bravery in front of goal to make sure that we can be ruthless. So there's not big changes needed. It's more the players having the belief and confidence in front of goal they're good enough and we're capable of scoring.
I just want to ask you about the WSL calendar. We know what it's like. It has bumps in the road at times. Obviously, it's a whole month before you play after this game. So, does that add any kind of, any more pressure on this weekend? And how do you go about kind of maintaining kind of momentum and confidence? Bearing in mind, obviously, you've got the cup game next week, but the fact that you've got that month-long break.
Yeah, when you're performing and you just want to play games every time, Dan, like we've had this group of games now within a schedule where you've played every week for so many weeks. Whether that's cup, whether that's league, you have a big block of games where you can continually build momentum. Yeah, when you have a break, obviously it breaks your rhythm within the team. But that's not going to take anything away from how we focus. It doesn't make us think that we've got to win this game if the next league game is a month away, and we just have to focus on what we control. That's the performance against Aston Villa and what's in front of us. And then after that, anything else we'll focus on when it comes to that point. But the breaks obviously don't give you as much rhythm. But every team's in the same situation, so are we. And we just have to embrace that, because that's part of the job, part of the players' job, and part of my job as head coach to make sure that we get them back on track when they come back.
That's brilliant. Thanks for that, Martin.
Cheers, Dan. Thank you.
Charlotte?
Hi Martin, hope you're well. Hannah Bake made her first start for Spurs on Sunday. Just wondered how you feel she is progressing into the first team and adapting to the WSL, and how you reflected on her performance.
Yeah, I was delighted for Hannah. I think she's had a bit of an unsettling time. Charlotte, since she got here, she's had a bit of illness, and when you get illness, it obviously sets you back, and then you're trying to build back up again. And she's got herself now in a place where she's training well. You're starting to really see her qualities within the training group, and it can be a big game putting someone in for the debut, but I feel Hannah was ready for that. And I think her performance in the game was good. She had some moments where she can be better tactically, but I thought for the first game, starting her debut, big stadium, derby, against Chelsea, against one of the big teams, I thought she performed exceptionally well. And she's settling in really well with the group now. She's understanding more about the playing style and how we want her to play and operate. And we'll start to see as it goes along, you'll start to see her develop into the player we want her to be. And I'm delighted for her that she made the debut, and her performance was quite solid.
And Uni Blackstad seemed to play more of an attacking role at the weekend compared to maybe what we've seen at previous clubs. Kind of how impressed were you were you of her performance, and do you intend to utilise her attacking threat in future games? Yeah,
definitely. I think Eula played a little bit higher. She's done that probably in the early parts of her career. She was a winger. She's played as a number 10. So she actually can play in those advanced positions. And it was more to see what we could get in terms of having a bit more balance down that left side to give us two left footers on the same side of the pitch, which we've not always had. And Yulia being more direct and definitely a threat in terms of in 1v1, but also give us balance in terms of when we were defending. If they were going to play really advanced with Ellie Carpenter, it enabled us to nullify that threat maybe at times. But I think Yulia as an attacking threat gives us a lot. Her crossing ability is really good. Physical capabilities in the pressing phase is really good. So that gave us a different dimension. It's something we will look at, and there's other players that can do the same.
Thank you. And just one more from me. Now that you've experienced a competitive game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I just wondered whether you have a preference between kind of the atmosphere there and the bigger ground, or whether you prefer the smaller, more intimate atmosphere at Brisbane Road. Yeah,
it's a good question. Either for me, Charles. I feel when we're playing at home, that's the most important thing, that we create a fortress and make it difficult for opponents to come to, that we perform at a good level for a consistent period within that game, and we can have our fans there, and the fans are outstanding, whether they're at Brisbane Road or whether at the stadium. I think they've been outstanding. The noise even at the stadium the other day, where it's a big stadium and it wasn't full, but the players, they'll still struggle to hear me from the side of the pitch. So you could see how loud it was and how intimidating they made the game. And the same at Brisbane Road, when we've had a lot of fans there, that's still intimidating. Either ground's fine as long as we are performing and we're getting results and we're playing the way we want to play and we're making games competitive. Then either stadium's fine. But as always, you want to, as a team and as a head coach, you want to play as many games at the main stadium as you can.